Greetings folks, and welcome to the Pit of Doom's video review of Return of the Living Dead. Now, I've done a fair amount of content about this film in the past, basically because it is my favourite horror film of all time. And today I thought I'd do a little bit of a video feature on it because why not? Now, as I said, this is one of my favourite films of all time, and I have multiple copies. I have the UK Steelbook Blu-ray, the US MGM original release, the quite hard to find UK tartan release, and the US re-release in the fancy glow in the dark slipcase. Now, there will be some footage in this review which is taken from a rip of the Blu-ray, so let's get on with it, shall we? Return of the Living Dead. It's a pseudo-official sequel to George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. There is a story behind it. Romero and his collaborators, including John Russo, split after making Night of the Living Dead, and they each had a different set of rights. So whereas Romero went off and made Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Russo went off and tried to get funding off the ground for his script called Return of the Living Dead. Now, this didn't work, so he turned it into a novel, and the original novel has a really deep feeling of the original Night of the Living Dead. It's very nihilistic, it's very dark. It's sold and was originally going to be turned into a 3D film by Tobe Hooper. This fell through, and eventually the film and the script landed in the lap of Dan O'Bannon, who drastically rewrote the script, and turned it into a comedy, and a very good comedy at that. Now, the film was produced during 1984 and it was released in 1985. The film cost somewhere in the region of $4 million, and it made back just about 15 million or so at the US box office, which was a pretty good return, allied to its international sales and then its life on VHS and DVD. It's been a massively successful film. It was far more successful than Romero's Day of the Dead, which was released in the same year. So what can you say about the film? It's about zombies coming back. It's set in Louisville, Kentucky, and as the story goes, Night of the Living Dead was real, and the chemical that was responsible for the zombies was accidentally shipped to this place in Louisville, which is a medical warehouse. Frank, one of the staff there trying to show off to the new boy Freddy, he's a bit inept, accidentally unleashes the zombies and this mysterious chemical 2,4,5-trioxin, which unleashes a horde of zombies from the nearby cemetery after a thunderstorm. Throw into the mix Freddy's friends, who are a bunch of typically early to mid 1980s US style punks, featuring the incredibly sexy Linnea Quigley, it must be said, who spends probably 75% of the film naked, which is always a bonus, especially when you are 15 years old. Some brilliant production design and some really, really good cinematography and special effects, and you have what I consider to be the perfect horror comedy. The tone is brilliant. All the actors in the film play the film straight, and that's the key. The film has to be played straight, otherwise the humour doesn't work. If it was all played very much, sort of wouldn't work. But it works as a comedy and a horror film. You can watch it as either or both. It's that good. I'm going to show a couple of clips from it now, just so you can see what it looks like, and then I'll come back and do some summing up afterwards.
Do you ever fantasize about being killed?
Never.
Do you ever wonder about all the different ways of dying? You know, violently? And wonder, like, what would be the most horrible way to die?
Try not to think about dying too much.
Well, for me, the worst way would be for a bunch of old men to get around me and start biting and eating me alive.
I see.
First, they would tear off my clothes.
They had a couple of clips from Return of the Living Dead. As you can see, it looks pretty good given its age and its budget. Like I said, it's a really good film. If you've never seen it, get out there, get a copy. It's really easy to get hold of. There's Blu-rays, DVDs. It's available on Netflix to stream in the UK. It gets shown quite often on cable in the US. It is a massively, massively easy to find film, and it is comfortably one of the best horror films made, especially from the 80s. It's peak 1980s horror. Anyway, I've been Learned Rob. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to click on like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon.